solstice is tomorrow at some point early in the morning, I think maybe 5 in the morning or something. But I like to celebrate always the offering of light in the after sunset. So beautiful. So one suggestion is that between tomorrow, today, the winter solstice to the next summer solstice, which is in 6 months, one suggestion for me is that all of you, I'm talking to myself too, we really try to bring our personal practice to the next level, both in terms of dedication to formal sitting, which, it's essential, and also to try to really bring the teachings into our day-to-day through these two aspects. One of them is the aspect of unfolding this sense of loving kindness to all sentient beings without exception. And then the other one is to maintain this clear awareness that recognizes what is going on, which is, we'll talk about later tonight, but, for us as, I assume everybody who's here, as Christians or Catholics or, I don't know, maybe, not many people, I don't know if you made the connection or not, but obviously the birth of Jesus and the birth of Jesus was moved back to this date of the of the winter solstice to celebrate it because it's such an important date. Okay, astrologically, it seems that there's it's not possible that Jesus was actually born around these dates, around Christmas. But it's very important, this point, because it it brings to excuse me, it brings to mind this idea of the winter solstice as really the rebirth of one's teacher. Okay, you can hear me, yeah? I'm gonna mute everybody. So when the teacher, Jesus, the Buddha, whomever your teacher in physical form is, and now, which is an embodiment of the actual inner teacher, at the end of the day is teaching two things. One of them is loving kindness to all sentient beings, and the other one is this mind that recognizes everything, this clear awareness. If you get this, there's really no other teaching. There's many other teachings, but all the teachings ultimately are going to lead you to this, okay, to these 2 points, which when you put them together lead to very profound realization. So this is why the winter solstice today, tomorrow, it usually is about 3-4 day period. Energetically, the energy today is already very, very fine. So it's that moment in which awareness actually deepens into one's being and recognizes this own awareness that is able to perceive, and then recognizes the world, and therefore develops this tenderness in one's heart. So that's so to support, to strengthen our practice together, I encourage you to dedicate more time and more thought to your practice, and then to also to see if we can practice a bit more together. Okay, so let's So good morning, everyone. We'll start with a practice. Until now, we have really put together the basis of how to have a very clear, very structured practice that follows a preliminary, a main practice, and then a conclusion or a dedication. So pure motivation, perfect practice, perfect dedication. This is what we call the 3 excellences. And we have spent, since September, pretty much like putting together ingredients. First we recognize the breath, then we explore the breath, then we recognize our, and we explored and we improved our posture, and then we worked, or activated this. We explored also the idea of the 3 channels, okay, as preparatory practice. So when we start practicing, it's very important that when you start practicing, it's very important that you practice mindfully, deliberately. Today, one of the topics is the power of being deliberate. I was telling Brooke last night, we were watching Harry Potter. We're doing a Harry Potter marathon. Okay, it's becoming like a Christmas tradition in our house. Okay, so, and beautiful movies. And I was telling Brooke, I said, if I could go back, to myself being very young and really like trying to emphasize something, so they would stick in my mind, would be like the idea that everything has a method. Like everything has a method. Nature is built and develops through structures, and people have studied those structures, and everything has a method. And by following the method, you eventually achieve, the expected results. That's something that it's very important also to apply to the idea of meditation. It's not just something random that we do just to relax ourselves or to to be in peace or to sleep better. Those are byproducts. But the method or meditation, healing meditation, is a method to improve the health of the body, of the energy, of the mind, but especially is a method to understand, to realize the nature of our being, and then to realize that our being is not just this physical body that has thoughts and does things, but is this beautiful, endless, infinite ground of all life. So the method, is essential. So I hope I'm being able to convey this idea of method in terms of meditation, of healing meditation. And the actual method is summarized in this, I think it's page 11. Everybody can hear me, yeah, because I cannot hear myself with a mic, so everybody's good? Okay, good. Here in page 13, where it says example of a healing meditation session, that is really the structure of the method. Okay, so if you want to practice any kind of meditation that you might learn later, or things that you might add that you encounter or you learn as you keep exploring yourself meditation. But always, if you follow this structure, is always very beneficial. Okay. Don't run, go slowly. Excuse me. Don't run, go slowly. It is only to yourself that you have to go. Go slowly, don't run, for the child of yourself, just born and eternal, cannot follow you. So you are here, and at the beginning of our practice, we aim at the result of our practice, which is just experiencing ourselves. Don't run, go slowly. It is only to yourself that you have to go. And then from abiding in yourself, from resting in yourself, you activate the motivation for the practice. And because you have abided in yourself, you naturally connect with this sensation of being present and realizing that there's this beautiful potentiality to life, to yourself, and you want to engage in it. It's beautiful. You want to engage in whatever you want to engage, whatever your natural inclination is. There's really nothing better than other things. What is better than other things is to cultivate this pure motivation to be of benefit to yourself, to others, and then to do it with mindfulness. So you have your own personal motivation. So just connect with the personal motivation for you to engage in practice, to participate in these sessions, to have a meditation regular practice. And this is something very concrete, it can be something very concrete, to find a better job, to find a boyfriend, to find a girlfriend, to lose weight, whatever it is. It can be also very abstract, to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings, whatever it is. So the example given is I'm going to practice healing meditation to feel calmer when things get overwhelming at work, to have more patience with my family, to improve my digestion. Usually the summary of all our personal motivations, it comes down to I'm going to practice healing meditation to find my place in life, to find a sense of ease within myself, to enjoy what I do and to be able to do what I enjoy, and to be able to relish that with awareness, to be able to generate positive relationships with my family, with my co-workers, with myself, to be able to develop a healthy vessel, this body, this vessel for consciousness. It's essential to put our motivation right at the beginning because it's like the steering wheel of our practice. Yesterday we were playing ping pong with my kids, and then I was, obviously the 6-year-old, he's not very, he hasn't had any ping pong training like me, that I have a lot of ping pong training. Okay, so he aims the ball to be to the right, but his racket, I don't know how you call the paddle, it's like pointed to the left. So I'm trying to make him understand, man, if your racket is pointed that direction, where is the ball going to go? And then he said, oh, you are right, the ball is going to go that way. Yeah? Makes sense, So, okay, so he improved very much in 5 minutes. Wow, he get it right away. Smart kid, like the mother, okay? So, so this is why this is so important. Right at the beginning, you can sit randomly and whatever happens. It's like going to the street and see who, Anyway, that's not good. So, so right at the beginning, you establish this personal motivation. This is why I'm doing this. This is the importance of being deliberate. Okay? The beauty of being deliberate is like at the beginning it might be a bit capricious. You might it might be more of a intellectual or ego thing. But as you are present on yourself, you arrive to yourself, gradually your personal motivation becomes really, really aligned with what, a more like inner true purpose. And then you start becoming very, very delicious to yourself, Which, when my friend, a doctor from Spain, was asking me, say, what is the thing that you treat the most, And I was feeling a bit silly that day, and I said, well, I think that the thing that I do the most is I try to help people to become delicious to themselves, And but that's really the essence of it all, just when you can align your motivation with your deeper longing, which is, just an emanation of your inner being, that doesn't mean that you are going to accomplish everything right away. Obviously, my son still, threw like 20 balls out, okay? But he was very satisfied, but he could see the balls actually were going now in the right direction. So it's this deep alignment that happens, and this is what happens in the winter solstice. It's this alignment that happens. Okay? And then what will support the experience of your personal motivation to keep expanding and to keep really manifesting is the altruistic motivation. So the altruistic motivation is our desire that all sentient beings are well. And by well, we mean that they have the resources to externally live a good life, a life that, it's with good resources materially, and that emotionally they can live a life that is virtuous, and that they can cultivate a mindset that is clear, that can recognize things as they are. By virtuous means a type of emotions that actually are of benefit to oneself and others, that are non-harmful. So I'm going to practice healing meditation. This is in page 10 in the book. I'm going to practice healing meditation to benefit both myself and all other sentient beings without exception. May my practice generate an infinite ripple of healing, well-being, and awakening across all time and space. May the illnesses of all beings be healed, and may they never occur again. May my practice bring joy and clarity to all beings, helping all of us become aware of our perfect essence. May we have the courage to recognize the same perfect essence within everyone and everything. May this recognition awaken healing, joy, peace, and love within each of us throughout all of existence. So the words are just words, and then the words have a meaning. So the words are sounds, and we impute a meaning to the words. But what we really want is to have this feeling, this sensation of, may all beings be happy. May all beings really have a meaningful life. May the lives of all beings be extended. And may we live joyfully together with one another. May we enjoy the contrast of being different, yet be able to support each other. So if the personal motivation is the steering wheel in a way, the altruistic motivation is really the fuel, is really the energy that is going to guide your practice. And this is very important here. After you read or think your altruistic motivation, let it rest on your mind for a minute, awakening inside your heart a feeling of joyful love towards all beings. And when you're doing your practice, it can be all beings, or maybe just somebody who is having a problem, or some area where there's issues because of natural disasters or wars, whatever you can select. Or it could be somebody who you've been having issues with, or somebody who is presenting you challenges. There's a realization that that person or that group of people, they also have their inner desires, their inner wishes, and the way they manifest, even if sometimes it's in ways that don't seem so efficient, but the way they manifest is expression also of the desire to align themselves internally. So naturally we develop like an understanding, and a wish to be of service. And sometimes the best service we can do is just to be quiet and not say anything, so every case is different. But at the end of the day, the essence of the altruistic motivation is to think of others also as having this divine inner nature that is one and the same with our nature. And this is really what we want to carry out. So whenever we encounter people or situations, we don't try to accept them out of contempt, I think is the word, like thinking we are better. Say, oh, bless her heart, she doesn't know any better. No, bless her heart because her heart is blessed, or bless his heart because this is just a magical display. The beauty of making many mistakes in your life, like I've made, is that then when mistakes is not the right word. Let's say the beauty of having experienced much contrast in one's life, okay? Because there's never a mistake. Certainly things could, then when you look back, say, oh, I could have better done. Is that then, no matter what somebody tells you, really no matter what happens, you can just relate to it. Say, yeah, I get it. Okay, let's keep going, okay? So, and the beauty is like they keep going, and I know I'm going long and long with this, but it's just that realignment of your internal purpose based on this motivation, altruistic motivation. And this is how you can transform life. This is what makes a life truly extraordinary. And then as the third part of the preparatory practice, we start with the alternating nostril breathing, the centering purifying breathing. Okay, we're going to do 3 rounds of 9. If when you block one nostril, let's say the other nostril is blocked, or there's phlegm, or it's just swollen, or your nose has any kind of structural issue inside, so you don't have to press all the way. Let's say I'm going to block the right, and I'm going to try to inhale through the left, but the left is blocked. So you bring the finger to the right one, but don't press. Okay, just let it out, and just visualize that the air is coming, and allow yourself to breathe through the nostril that is open or more open, but you still do the movement and do the visualization, okay? And then the key to the practice is to allow the breath to guide the rhythm. Do not rush into it in a way like you just goes automatic, okay? Just take your time. This is an incredible practice. So just let's do it, okay? So at your own pace, start blocking the right and inhaling through the left. And then hold whatever you need to, and when you're ready, block the left and exhale through the right. So at your own pace, repeat this 2 more times. And then at your own pace, switch and now block the left and start inhaling through the right. And then at your own pace, inhale through both nostrils into the brain. Hold the breath below the navel for a moment. And then just exhale up through the center of the body and out. And as the breath goes out, the next inhalation is like a shower of golden light that surrounds you and fills your body. And then at your own pace, inhale again. And exhale through the center. When we are doing the lateral breaths, it's just one after the other one. Okay? Like, so we do 3 and 3. When we're doing this, at this point, the mind is already more quiet. So, after you exhale, there's this sensation, this visualization of just sensation of this beautiful energy descending. You can take 1, 2, 3 breaths there, not too many, or otherwise you get dispersed, and then start with the other one. So now let's do a third one. Inhale through both nostrils, into the brain, go down the abdomen. Hold the breath, and then at your own pace, exhale deliberately through the center. And out. And then this beautiful sensation, like this beautiful rain, or the ascent of golden healing light. So that's one round. After one round, you want to take a couple of minutes and just rest. Look into the state of your mind. You might notice the mind is a bit more clear, a bit more, there's less thoughts, there's less impressions coming and going. So let's do another round, same thing, 3 times starting on the right. Everybody knows how to do it, so I'm not going to keep talking, I'm just going to do it at my own pace. You do it at your own pace. Be soft but deliberate. At your own pace now, switch, and if you have not switched yet, switch and start breathing and blocking the left and exhaling through the right. Allow yourself to explore the spaces where there's no breath. The holdings. Without forcing, but resting there. And then again, through both nostrils, into the brain, down the sides of the spine to approximately 3 fingers below the navel. Hold the breath for a moment there, and then deliberately just exhale up the center of the body, soft but up and out the crown. this part at the end is very important. So you feel the ascent, and either on the crown or above the crown, there's this sensation of luminosity that expands, and then the sense strengthening or nourishing the body, and the crown stays very beautifully vibrant but sealed. So again, at your own pace, inhale into the brain. At the end, always like the sensation descends ideally into the lower abdomen better. And once more, inhale both nostrils into the brain, descend to below the navel, and then exhale through the center of the body, up and out. This concludes the second round, so we'll rest for a couple of minutes here. You could rest with the eyes closed, with the eyes open. The important thing is the mind is clear, it's very soft, and you allow yourself any kind of inner silence, any kind of spaciousness. Just allow yourself to rest there. There's nothing to do. It's just complete natural rest. And then we'll do a third round. Something interesting to notice is if you feel that your mind is actually becoming quieter and more spacious. It's not the mind that is on the head. We have this issue that we say mind and we think brain. Here we're talking about our capacity to perceive and to experience. And, our mind is very, it's kidnapped by our mental activity and thought. But as the nervous system starts being more grounded, we start experiencing a sense of openness. Is our awareness just being able to just go beyond the sense of I-ness, every time gradual, more gradual. So you want to rest there, and this is why the spaces in between breaths are very important, because one breath happens on the lateral side, the other one happens on the other side, but then gradually the energy starts entering in the central channel. And in the central channel is where this more clear consciousness abides. So the aim of this practice is to gradually rest. Naturally, it happens naturally, more and more there. So let's do another round, everybody at their own pace. Okay. Start blocking the right, inhaling through the left. I see Janelle, bring the elbow a bit higher. Yeah, not super high, but enough that this is not touching the chest. Like, it has to have some room so the lung can expand. And everybody that I don't see do the same thing. The shoulder is relaxed, but the lateral side is not compressed. And then at your own pace, start breathing through the, blocking the left and inhaling through the right. And then at your own pace, through both nostrils into the brain, and then down the sides of the spine to below the navel, and then up and out. Then at your own pace again, into the brain, down, hold for a moment, and exhale through the center of the body. And then once more, into the brain, down the sides of the spine, below the navel, and exhale through the center of the body. And then rest in a state of just contemplation. Nothing to do, nothing to experience, just simply being. With a sense of smile. That's the only thing that you can add, just a sense of joy. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes slowly. And connect or maintain the same sense of calmness, but with the wakefulness that having the eyes open gives. You're looking outside, and you're looking through your eyes, you're seeing, there's objects, whatever, there's people, whatever is in your house. Yet the vision is still somehow connected to the experience of inner being, so you're both seeing inside and seeing outside. And then relax your gaze, wrap your hands. And do a little bit light tapping on the face and the head. And on the arms. And on the chest. And the low back and the legs. And you can massage your feet. You can stretch your legs if you can. I have things around me, but you can. Okay. And then at the end of your practice, you always think of the dedication, which is really what seals the deal. So here in page 11, by the merit of having practiced healing meditation for the benefit of myself and all other beings, may all beings without exception be well and happy, may there be peace in all lands, prosperity in all households, and joy in all hearts, across all time and space, and may all motivation prayers made for the well-being of beings become a reality. And in your heart there's this joy. It is obvious that what we've done is good for you, and it's obvious that it's good for anybody you are going to encounter today, because you feel better and their mind is more calm and your heart is more loving. So everything is beneficial. Cutting the grass is beneficial, raking the leaves is beneficial. Everything is beneficial in a way, but obviously there's things that if the motivation is there, things become more beneficial. So this is very beneficial. So then there's a sense of personal pride, So wow, this is wonderful. And the ego is so, everybody talks so bad about the ego. You have to destroy the ego, kill the ego, get rid of the ego. And the ego is necessary, otherwise we would not know that it's us who is doing things, It's just this false sense of pride that wants to impose oneself over others, trying to think that is better. But here is the opposite. Here we're cultivating this sense of divine pride. This is beautiful, what we just did. It's so good, And therefore you smile to all the cells of your body with this sense of well-being and joy. Good. Something like that. If you are just practicing, if you're just, let's say, you can just do one round of 3. I encourage you to do just one round of 9. I mean, like 3, 3, and 3 before every practice you do. And the more you do it, you'll notice that the more rounds you do, obviously the energy keeps going deeper into the central channel. And sometimes there's long spaces, Sometimes you might do like the rate of your breathing, especially at the beginning, you might do them a bit more, not forceful, but a bit more. We did one practice that was journeying to deeper breathing, where we're exhaling deeper, So you could be actually exhaling, and you're feeling how the air comes from the lateral channel, from the pelvic floor, from the toes. So all these cells are being renewed, and the next time you inhale, there's this sensation, So it becomes from a more dense type of breathing, but gradually it starts becoming very subtle. So, you might do one breath per minute at some point, becomes very, very, the breath becomes very slow and very spacious. That shows that our awareness is entering into the central channel. There's a type of breathing that we call, I think in English you would say embryonary, like from the embryo, like embryonary breathing or central channel breathing, where actually a lot of the breathing happens through the crown and through the skin. So the actual need to breathe through the nose, it's very diminished. Sometimes if you're practicing, you might be there and realize, oh, I feel I have not actually breathed in or out for a long time. Okay? So this is because the energy goes into the central channel, the awareness goes into the central channel, and we align ourselves with that aspect of being that is not physical, okay? That is more energetic or is more consciousness. So this is a very, very important practice that I encourage you to incorporate. And nothing comes out of nothing. I know, you are all very good at what you do. And I'm pretty sure, like, if Jim didn't spend a few thousand hours with his hands on the clay, yeah, and the tools and everything else, so his pottery would not be as beautiful as it is, for example, yeah. So this is the same thing. You are the artist of your own life, and the more beautiful you make your life by understanding deeper who you are beyond the physical body and beyond the immediate physical world, obviously the more beautiful your life becomes and the more benefit we are of others. So this is why these practices are so precious. Are you buying it, or do I have to keep going? Okay. Let me see. View gallery. I think this will work. Okay. Hey Missy, I see you there. And that precious puppy that Cindy has. So we still have some time. Let me see what time is it. Yeah. So one of the topics today was why thoughts and emotions profoundly influence how we feel. I think at this point we all know, everybody's aware, that I think we're mostly aware of how stress affects us, Emotions are kind of like almost a mystery. We feel things, but they are just so integrated on how we feel that unless we have this mind that is more open and is able to perceive, some days for whatever it is, astrological, internally things, you just, you feel different and, okay. This happens because the relationship between the physical body and the movement within the channels, each of the inner organs in Chinese medicine, and this is explained here in different parts of the book, especially when we reach the 5 elements. But each of the inner elements, each of the inner organs has like a triple function, has a form, then has a biological function, has an emotion, and then has a consciousness function. Okay. So sometimes happens that your digestion gets a bit congested, or whatever, there's hormonal changes. So all these micro vibrations, or larger vibrations of the physical organs have an effect on the channels that are running through them, and the channels directly have an effect on the mind. Okay. So here the thing is to use it the other way around. Which, like, I've never heard of anybody coming and telling me, wow, I've been practicing meditation for a year and I feel so much worse. Usually what you say, people say, I've been regular with my meditation, with my Qigong, with my Tai Chi, and I'm observing a very clear progression of who I understand who I am. Okay? So the thoughts and emotions affect us, influence us, how we feel very profoundly, because they are vibrations that put in movement our channels, and that therefore affects our perception. Okay, they activate, or they are activated by inner mental patterns, inner mental habits. So the important thing here is to realize that the same way emotions happen to us, we can make emotions happen to us. Okay? So through our practice, we can activate these inner states in a sustained way that we are actually choosing deliberately. And then the other thing that is very important here is to realize that emotions have an influence in us, and thoughts, the way we feel. And very often we don't realize the actual influence can be very positive too, because they show very clearly that what we are doing, the way what we are living, how we are relating to others, how we are communicating, it's not aligned with what we really want to experience. Yeah? This might sound obvious, but I guarantee you, based on how I act, sometimes, and the many conversations I have, throughout my week with people who come to see me, very often it's like it's not even in the realm of understanding. Like, emotions is not something that happens to you. It's something that happens within you, but we don't have to be at the mercy of what we feel. It's very important and very useful to understand emotions as a guiding system. Okay? Then what happens? Once you realize that emotions are a guiding system, that you are about to do something that doesn't feel right, or somebody told you something, or or you're just feeling sad or angry or whatever, that's just your inner guide, this inner wisdom telling you that your deeper purpose is not aligned with what is happening. So the trick here is to be able to develop this firmness but softness to communicate with the exterior in a way that it's loving and it's kind, but that you're feeling well. Okay, I hear this very often with relationships, and I have some clients, especially it seems to be more female than male, that let's put it this way. Sometimes people, if the person doesn't have a very strong opinion of themselves, will give in to things in relationships just to be accepted or to be loved, or to be with somebody. Okay, and because there's fear of being alone, or there's fear of exactly that, of not being loved, or so these are very often patterns that we learn when we are little, and this is obviously a very vast topic. But here, what I think is very important for anybody who doesn't have it in their radar, is to realize that emotions are just very often, just showing us that our deeper desires are not aligned with what is happening externally and the way we are behaving. Okay, and that we have to be deliberate and find systems, mechanisms, which healing meditation is a very good one, to align those. Okay, there's obviously things that are out of our control. There's world things and things that happen in our lives that you might not be able. If somebody passed away, you might not be able to bring them back, and there's sadness. Okay, or there's a sense of grief, or there's a sense of loneliness. Okay. But it's always a matter of reframing. Okay, it's always reframing. So recognizing this idea of self-sabotage, because there's, for example, we lose somebody in our life, or there's a situation in our life that is difficult, and internally we might spark a sense of joy for whatever reason, but there's a sense of guilt. We don't allow ourselves to feel well, or that we don't allow ourselves to feel a sense of joy because we feel guilty. Like this I see very often with people who have lost. I was talking to a gentleman, he lost his wife from cancer not too long ago, and the main thing was that he was sharing was guilt at the sense of feeling happy. Okay? So this is where the self-sabotage and these inner resistances need to be recognized. Not because we feel happy means that we don't care for the world, in a world that is in a terrible external apparent situation, or not because we feel happy and we connect with a sense of joy means that we lost a friend or a spouse or somebody. It doesn't mean that we don't love them. Okay, this is very clear. I think it's very simple to understand, but I would encourage everybody to observe, when you are experiencing a sense of doom. This week for me, for some reason, was a bit like this, and I was observing, like, there's a sense of, I think, doom, you say in English, like a bit kind of down, and I was observing myself and say, oh, this is interesting, like this is how the emotions are presenting themselves. So what is it that is behind? Sometimes can be a week without sunshine, sometimes can be a, but then why I'm not allowing myself to feel the joy that I just naturally wants to spark, okay? And maybe, you know, I mean, examples, I don't think I have to give you examples. I think you can find your own examples. So the summary of all these minutes of blabbling is emotions affect us profoundly in two ways. One of them is like they can bring us down. Another one is they can bring us up, make us joyful. But I think what is especially important to understand is like emotions are a guiding system. Okay? And that when any kind of emotion that you're feeling, you can use it. If this is making me feel good, how can I go from the thing that makes me feel good? How can I write that to the next thing that makes me feel good? Okay? And if this is not making me feel good, how can I align this situation into something that makes me feel good without any kind of guilt, without any kind of shame? The idea of nourishing self-love is really at the core of healing. Without self-love, there's no healing. Okay? This is not possible. You know, you cannot be disliking yourself, and we'll go in depth into this when we're doing the healing smile. But you cannot be loathing yourself and thinking poorly about yourself and still pretending, you know, I mean, you can go and get all these therapies and do all these things and take all these herbs, but really the true healing comes from just aligning yourself and observing what's going on and just connecting with yourself. And becoming delicious to yourself. Another way for self-love is, or nourishing self-love is just becoming delicious to yourself. It's just enjoying yourself. You know? With whatever it is that comes, you know. With the gain, with the loss, with the, you know, ups, with the downs, with whatever it is. And then this nourishing self-love, if there's something that I encourage you to persevere, we persevere on so many things, you know. I persevere into eating chocolate cookies. It's my main perseverance. Okay. My poor liver. So we all persevere in things in life. Sometimes we persevere in being stubborn, whatever it is, you know. We persevere in this sense of like, you know, keeping us down a little bit because our partner maybe is having a, you know, a bad week. So whatever it is that you're persevering, I really encourage you to persevere in experiencing this joy of yourself, you know. Because then all the other projects are going to go well. You know, say, no, I'll be happy with myself once I make my first million, or once I get that job, or once I finish that degree, or once I stop this habit of. But this is working backwards, you know, because in Chinese medicine we say qi follows intention, and intention is made out of sustained attention. So if you persevere in the small things that are making you happy in a day-to-day, like this cup that Missy gave me as a present, you know. And I enjoy so much, you know. So maybe I'm at the office and I'm kind of scratching my head because somebody came, and, you know, sometimes you don't know what to say. I mean, some cases are complicated, you know. And I'm saying, oh my God, I'm just terrible. I should not be doing this, you know. Okay. And I get my cup and I say, oh, this is so nice, you know. And I sip my tea, and my tea is so delicious. And then through something as simple as that, I just connect with this sense of well-being, and then the mind becomes clear, and then, oh, maybe this is what we should do. Let's try this. Okay. So I think one of the issues that Hollywood and all these big magazines, you know, Vogue and all these things have put in our minds is the same issue that during the Renaissance, all these great painters put in humans' minds through these beautiful Jesus and God and all these clouds, you know. Is the idea that success is something very, very shiny and externally very big, and, you know, like you have to be to make it, you have to really make it big, you know. I encourage you to persevere in the experience that making it is actually into the joy of sustaining this relishness for yourself, you know, this deliciousness for yourself. feel delicious, you know. So one of the ways of feeling delicious and relishing yourself is this beautiful practice that I suggest you to do for the next 2 weeks. And feeling silly is very nice, you know, like one of the things of feeling delicious is feeling silly, you know. Not taking yourself too seriously. You cannot feel yourself so delicious and at the same time take yourself too seriously. I've been told. Okay, so in page 63, there's this practice. So one of the issues why emotions have a profound influence on us is because actually emotions are both. So there's 2 types of emotions. Let's say there's the temporary emotions, you know, like you're looking at the news and there was a big disaster somewhere and you just feel, you know, there's a sense of sadness because, oh my God, these poor people, what happened to them, okay? But then you just keep going and that transforms. So there's a type of emotions that are naturally, you know, like maybe you lost somebody, so it's naturally that, you know, there's a process of grieving and things go through steps they fire you and, you know, there's a sensation of fear saying, oh, where is my next paycheck gonna come from, okay? So there's some healthy emotions that are natural. Here also we were talking more is like about unhealthy emotions, like these emotional patterns that repeat constantly, that very often are inherited, you know, things that I heard my mother say or my father say or my grandmother or some things. A lot of these patterns are in the family, okay, that are there. Yeah. So these are all patterns, or very often these are patterns that are in the background of our minds that keep repeating every time we run into a situation, you know, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I cannot do this, or, you know, okay. A lot of these things might be cultural too. Some cultures where, you know, women are not good enough and they cannot do certain things or whatever, okay? You can do anything you want, as you know. So the idea is this, all these things that I've been discussing about the emotions are summarized here in page 63. Okay? So the idea is like we have these mental patterns that are deep-seated in our subconscious mind or different layers of our mind. So when the mind is very calm and very clear, we have a much easier time to transform these patterns. So we've done some breathing, we've done the alternator nostril breathing, and now we can actually transform because the surface of the mind is much more polished. We can input new influences there. So this is the purpose of this practice. Okay. So please, I hope you read page 63 and 64. It's very well written. I wrote it. Hey, you have to cheer up yourself. You have to cheer. Yeah, be cheerleaders for yourself. You're also wonderful, you know. If you need to, I'll cheer for you, but it's better if you cheer for yourself. So this practice, it's not like it's not like, something is going wrong and you say, oh no, it's going right, it's going right, it's going right. It's not like that. That doesn't really work, okay? I mean, it might work, but this is different. This is like you have set up your motivation, the mind is very clear, you have done some, breathing, the mind is in this state where there's actually a sense of profound, so there's some clarity, okay? And now you start transforming this. There's a lot of foreplay, okay, to reach these levels. The most superficial level of the mind is what we experience day to day. There's all these thoughts. It's very chaotic, and there's really no point in trying to transform there anything, because it's not like, it's like leaves that are already on the floor. I mean, you just want to clean up and put them away. But now This is more like start to trim the bushes and the trees so they look nice. Okay? Like adding nice fertilizer, you know. So you don't fertilize what is so superficial because it's not useful. Do you get this point? This is very important, and this applies to prayer. This applies to when you're trying to pray for somebody or for yourself. You can just do it randomly, but if you want to achieve deep effects, or the effects that you're aiming to achieving, it's much better if first the mind is very clear. Okay. So bring your attention to the flow of air coming in and out of your body. We've done this. So let's do this practice now. Actually, I'll just go through the practice as is here. So you would have done the preparation. You would have done the preliminaries that we do, and the alternating nostril breathing, and then the mind will be in a sense of presence. Then bring your attention to the flow of air coming in and out of your body. So you just bring the attention to the breath. And really there's no much shortcut here. You want to do these steps until you realize that, oh, I'm present, I'm here. Even if there's some thoughts still coming and going, but you feel very in yourself, you feel present. And then bring to mind a moment when you felt happy and relaxed. This applies to the example that comes after, but you could change the actual moment or the actual feeling. So the idea is to, when the mind is calm here, you can bring the memory of a moment, or you can just feel happy and relaxed. Usually bringing the memory of a moment is better because it activates all these neurotransmitters on the brain, these neurochemicals. So a very precious moment where you just felt calm, relaxed. Maybe you were in nature, maybe you have achieved something, maybe you had gotten good news and it was a big sense of relief. And then once you have the sensation, you just let go of the story, forget about the story, what brought you there, and you just stay with the feeling. And then you think, breathing in, my mind is calm. Breathing out, my body is relaxed. Breathing in as you inhale, my mind is calm. Breathing out, my body is relaxed. So at your own pace, it's important to use the words. So you don't have to verbally say the words, you just imagine. So breathing in, my mind is calm. And you feel the calmness. Breathing out, my body is relaxed. And you feel the softness of the body feels relaxed. This is very, very powerful because when thought presents, like sometimes thought presents as images, but very often thought internally presents as words. It's almost like you can see the script, So what you're doing, and mental patterns lodge itself, it's almost this inner script, that is there in the hard drive of the mind. So now you have put yourself into a state where you can access deeper aspects of the mind, and you're using words that you inhale and exhale. So you are aligning the mind, you are aligning thought with the energy into the physical body. Okay, so this goes again to the idea of the triad, okay, that we studied a couple sessions ago. So you are aligning physical, energy, and mental. So this practice done regularly can really help you transform any mental habits, any mental patterns that you recognize on yourself that are causing sabotage, that are causing self-sabotage. Then you can make your own here in page 66. I gave some other examples. You can write anything, okay? The idea is always put it in a sense that actually feels good. You know, like the second one, for feeling lonely, for example, or for not feeling not good enough. You know, it's like breathing in, I appreciate myself. Like sometimes we feel lonely because, I mean, you know, I'm not lonely, but it's nice to hang out with people. Okay, so there's so much to share, and you know, so there's. But that's not this kind of loneliness of being afraid of being lonely or being bored. Or, you know, the other day, I see Brooke's cell phone pops this Facebook thing, and somebody, one of her friends, had posted, "Bored at home, don't know what to do." You know, this person must be like 42 or 43. So at the age of 42, 43, you're bored. I mean, you know, they should have like 72 hours. I mean, what are you doing, bored? You come to our classes, you know. So that's a sense because the person cannot appreciate being, I mean, you know, I'm imputing here meaning into this, but, you know, life is so beautiful. So, you know, so this is very important, no? Like sometimes I appreciate myself. Breathing in, I appreciate myself. And just feel this sense of self-love. Breathing out, I feel connected. Or breathing out, you know, you can put there any wording you want. Actually, I feel connected. I know what I wrote this now. I was wondering why I wrote this. Feel connected. You could also say feel aligned. I think maybe aligned would be a better word here. Okay? Maybe after all, it's not so well written. You could say feel connected. You know, I mean, I know I wrote feel connected thinking of, you know, you feel connected to people even if they are not with you. Okay? But so breathing in, I appreciate myself. Breathing out, I feel connected to others, or I feel connected to myself. Okay, you can change. The next one is very important. You know, I know like quite a few of you are going through transitions. Sometimes transitions can be quite confusing because there's so many options, you know. So you can feel a bit confused. So this one is very important. Breathing in, I am clear. Breathing out, I know what to do. Breathing in, I am clear. Breathing in, I feel clear. Breathing out, I know what to do. All these statements are invoking resources that are deeper in your being. And then for shame, you know, there's like one of the major, I think, emotions or mental patterns that very often come up are shame and guilt, you know. So this one is very important too. Breathing in, I love myself. Breathing out, I enjoy myself. This one is a bit tricky sometimes because if you say I love myself, if you are not there, or you might feel fake, or it might actually more pain might come. So you can just be with that. It's okay. Or you can soften it until you are ready for this. So choose one of these ones, whatever you like. And I know it's 12, but we'll do one for a couple of minutes. And then for a minute, just at the end of this practice, always, so you do this for whatever time you want, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever works for you. And then at the end, just for 1 minute, just stay there experiencing the sensations, that certainty. And again, to finish, we read the dedication. By the merit of having practiced healing meditation for the benefit of myself and all other beings, may all beings without exception be well and happy. May there be peace in all lands, prosperity in all households, and joy in all hearts across all time and space. And may all the motivation prayers made for the well-being of beings become a reality. And whatever qualities you were inhaling and exhaling, so may all beings that are in a similar situation that need to strengthen those virtues, those positive emotions, through the merit of our practice, may those emotions naturally be born on them throughout all time and space. And because we are born in specific families and specific situations to experience certain situations, certain characteristics, may this emphasis on these positive emotions be planted as beautiful seeds that grow within our family structure. So everybody else, present generation and future generations from our family, will naturally come with these included in their software, and they will be able to relate to life, to themselves and to others with that. And especially if we know of family relatives, parents, siblings that are having a hard time or are having a hard time relating to us, may also they relish in these qualities, and may they find this deliciousness within themselves that make them feel safe, make them feel at ease with themselves, so we can relate to each other nicely and lovingly. And may the sublime awakened mind arise where it has not arisen, where it has arisen may never decrease but continue to increase forevermore. And may all beings be showered internally and externally with this love, this awareness of our shared divine nature. Wonderful.